I don't know. Maybe this was a mistake and I shouldn't be putting all of this on the internet. This job, I can't keep being threatened every day and laboring beside my friends every day. It keeps me from ever being able to be real. I always have to have my guard up, and I'm so tired of that. I'm quite some way from being the tiredest person in the world, but I still feel it in my bones. I expect most of us do. Still, I know I have to keep working. So, my room's a mess. I'm a mess. I figured if I cleaned my room, maybe I'd be less of a mess, but I've also not been able to clean my room, so I thought maybe I'd try filming it and see if that helps. Perhaps it helps to feel like you're being watched. Okay. Burnout is not just being tired. I'm tired, everyone is, but that's not burnout. At least not alone. Burnout is what happens when you push and push and push to meet the demands of an environment that has not given you everything you need to succeed. And eventually, your body and brain say no. No more. Generally speaking, when we refer to burnout, we're talking about it in the context of work. When the workload is too high or the reward is too low, leaving you feeling exhausted or that you're just going through the motions. I felt those feelings, but I honestly love my job. I'm also stressed out by how my neurodivergent brain means sometimes I can't work when I want to. So I push and push until I can finally start, and then it all falls into place and is a joy and it all sings, and then it all comes to a stop again. But that's not a problem with my work. Just gonna chat to you all about autistic burnout, because I was gonna write a full script for it, and I just realized that I can't do that. I can't do that right now, and part of that is because I've been burnt out. I think, maybe. Because part of me is also like, is autistic burnout even a real thing? Basically, I first heard it, and I was like, what makes it different from ordinary burnout? And then I read about it, and it was like, okay, well, ordinary burnout's about work, but autistic burnout is supposed to be just a reaction to the effort we have to sustain to try and fit into a neurotypical world. Which, I was like, okay, cool, isn't that just being disabled though? Because the social model of disability is about that. It's about living in a system that is not built for you, that is potentially hostile for you, and how that's disabling. And so I don't actually have the answers for this. I did a quick little Google, and I realized that there's all of one research paper on this, and I can't read right now anyway, because my brain is bleh, and if you show it paragraphs, it will say skip. But it's hard to know. But the one thing that made me think that maybe it was a real thing is I kept hearing stories within the community of people saying that when they're burnt out, they feel like they have regressed, and I don't like that terminology at all. But it made me remember speaking to my friend not that long ago, and I asked my friend, do you think I'm getting worse at masking? And I feel like that's touching at that same thing that all of those people were saying, that I honestly feel like I don't feel more autistic, that's not the word. I just feel like the pieces are not fitting together the same way that they used to, and that perhaps that I'm more sensitive in terms of my sensory vibes, and that I'm struggling more with things that I used to think that I was really good at, like language, wow, see, like that. That used to happen, like the random noises and words in random places. It's been a thing that's happened my whole life, but it used to happen a whole lot more rarely than it does now, and I have always cut it out of YouTube videos when that stuff has happened. And a part of me is like, I could still cut that one out, but I think it's an important part of what I've been feeling. I don't know. Maybe this was a mistake and I shouldn't be putting all of this on the internet. Maybe this is TMI, too much informations for the people who don't really know me. But I think this is an important thing to talk about, whether just in general or in terms of my experiences, and I wanted to talk about it in more general terms, in more research terms, to come up with a like thesis statement and like build an argument towards it and blah 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 blah. But I don't have that in me right now. I don't. This is probably the most I have in me. And I feel so bad because I love making YouTube videos. This is one of the parts of my artistic practice that I get the most joy out of. And I feel bad because every day or so I'm seeing new subscribers and I'm not giving you all anything. I'm just sitting here in my room feeling bad for not giving you anything. And I know that I don't owe anyone on this website anything. And I've been talking about being burnt out with my psychologist for a very long time. For a very long time. Because I have a problem with overworking. Like I don't feel like I can rest. And that could be a problem with being a freelancer. It could just be brainwashing under late stage capitalism. But it could be a part of my brain, and that I need stimulation, and that's the way I give it to my brain, is by working and working and working and working and working. Like, I don't know, but like I also don't work and work and work because I can't. But I spend all the time I spend not working feeling bad about not working, and I know that's very, very common. But it also means that I'm not getting enough rest, probably for just your average Joe, let alone a disabled person. Like, I probably should be resting more than your average Joe, but I'm not. This is a Sunday and I'm working. Making things, any things, it gives me such joy. But I also feel like I've been pushing so hard for so long, and that I need to do nothing for like a year. But I don't think I'd let myself either. I'd get so bored. Oh my god, I'd get so bored. My ADHD brain would eat me. I don't know if there's an answer. And I'm not sure what the point in saying all of this is, because I don't think I'm gonna find an answer just by talking about it. I think I'm gonna have to try things. But like, what do I try? Do I take time off work and then be worried about money? I am very lucky that I am in the position where I can be a freelance artist, and I can do that because I have savings. I can survive a year of no work. And I recommend that to you if you're thinking about going full-time as an artist. Like, make sure you can survive at least a year without any work. I can, but I can't do that over and 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 over again. I have a ceiling on how many times I can do that. So it's gonna be hard. And I didn't listen to myself. Don't burn the candle at both ends. So yeah, if you've been following me for a while, you can slap me, I think. Yeah, I asked you to slap me in that song, so you're welcome to it. If Artie's artying too hard, just trying to make art, please slap them for me. Artie was artying too hard. Whoops, big whoops. Alright, so, we're trying with the camera again because I've been editing the disparate pieces of nothing that have made up this video so far, and I realised it didn't have an ending. So here I am with a call to action, and it's not a like and subscribe and pay. No, because if disabled people have to feel this way just for frickin' existing, that's bullshit. And we know that. We fight for our rights on the regular, but non-disabled people? Crickets. Right? And I'm tired. I am so tired of fighting to be less tired. I just wish, for once, you'd step up and do the fighting for us. Like, let us have a frickin' holiday. Oh, that event has stairs? Well, maybe don't book that venue, hey? And tell the venue manager why you're choosing not to book there. And, there's a light in my office that's always flickering, but it doesn't really bother me, trust me. There's someone in your office that it is driving absolutely mental. So why don't you be the one to tell the manager about it instead of them, instead of making them do all the work? Like, step up and make your events accessible. If you don't know how, pay us and we'll teach you. And yes, don't be afraid to do little half steps, right? Something is better than nothing, but the next time you do similar events, step up, make it better. Right? I can't do this on my own. The disability community can't do this on our own. We need you. Are you with us?